And back to St. Paul to be joined by Congressman Ron Paul. Ron Paul, presidential candidate. Good morning, Congressman Paul. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Nice to be with you.
Your fellow Texas delegate Bill Crocker, who was just on this program, left with a plea for you to throw your support by Senator McCain. Will you do that?
Well, if he changes positions and, goes along with the traditional Republican platform of limited government, balanced budgets, and a sensible foreign policy and sound money, I could consider it. But no, he honestly supports positions that I don't support, and so I've worked for these positions for 30 years, so it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for me to support somebody that objects to these positions. I don't think that's likely to happen. You
are in the Twin Cities to hold your campaign for a Liberty rally today in Minneapolis, which, right, for our viewers' information, will be covered live on C-SPAN 2 this afternoon beginning at 1:30 Eastern. What's going to happen?
Well, we're going to have a rally, and it's going to be all upbeat. It's all going to be positive, to talk about the traditional values of this country, the Constitution, personal liberty, and it's just trying to call attention to the problems that we have and that we haven't addressed as a nation. The Democrats haven't addressed it, and the Republicans haven't addressed it. I mean, we've had control of the White House, we've had control of the Senate and the House, and for quite a few years. And we haven't done what we said. I mean, we didn't come up with a balanced budget. I mean, we're so embarrassed. Under Clinton, the deficit was less than under the Republicans. There's something wrong. The spending is out of control. The economy is going downhill. And we have a foreign policy that doesn't make any sense whatsoever to any of us. I mean, the neoconservatives have taken over the party and taken over the country. They took over the Democratic Party, and they control the foreign policy, and that is foreign intervention. And we have an empire. We have troops in 140 countries. We have 700 bases overseas. We can't take care of our own people here at home. We blow up bridges overseas. We rebuild these bridges. We can't even take care of the bridges here at home. And we're broke. So the American people are sick and tired of it. 60% to 70% of the American people say they would like to have another choice for president.
Representative Ron Paul is with us for the next half hour or so. Let's open up the phone lines for supporters of Representative Paul. Special number set aside for you, 202-628-0205. The other line, supporters of Senator McCain, 202-737-0001. And for supporters of Senator Obama, 202-737-0002. Congressman Paul, I wanted to get your reaction to a story this morning in the Washington Times by Ralph Hallow. He says that the McCain campaign, acting through the Republican National Committee, has been negotiating with Representative Ron Paul to win his support and acquire the names of his sympathizers among the 4,600 delegates and alternates at the Republican National Committee convention, according to a senior aide to the Texas congressman. What can you tell us about this story?
Well, they've made an inquiry to ask us for our political lists. I mean, and they didn't want to offer us anything, nothing. They said, well, you give us all our lists. And they even made the statement, well, usually we can get these very easily from opponents because they're always broke and in debt, but we can't even offer you money because you don't need our money. But they say, well, will you give us our list and tell us what we're doing and what our plans are? And they call that outreach. So that didn't make any sense to me.
Ron Paul supporter in Kipton, Ohio. Good morning.
Hi. Lately, I've noticed a lot of people are saying that the independents or the people that don't vote Democrat or Republican, that how can I put this? If you say that you're independent or that you're, not Republican or Democrat, that you pretty much get targeted by the law and that you're not allowed to vote independent. And that's why they push the Democratic and the Republican Party so much. My question is, because of the law, you can't vote independent. What do you think of that?
Well, I don't think it's bad, but it isn't the law. The law doesn't say that you can't run as an independent. Ralph Nader's running as an independent, and there's a Constitutional Party candidate and a Libertarian Party candidate. But the system is very biased. It's very hard to get on ballots. You can't get into the debates. You get no credibility by the media. So it's a system very biased. So if you're in the category of coming to the conclusion that both candidates in both parties are essentially the same, and that's about where I am. I don't see a whole lot of difference. You don't have much choice in the system. You know, you don't have a lot of democratic opportunities for a real choice. And that is the struggle that we have today. So you're almost forced, if you want to bring about change, to work within the major parties. And that's what I am doing. I've been a congressman for 10 terms, and I've always been a Republican congressman. But I've had to take independent stands because I don't think our party does what they say they believe in. I mean, they keep making government bigger. They create more departments of, departments in the government. They introduce ideas like the national ID card. This is what the people are objecting to, and they say, oh, that's a liberal idea. Conservatives like national ID cards. But that isn't true. So I understand your frustration, but it isn't the law itself. It's the way the system has evolved.
Panorama City, California, supporter of Senator McCain.
Yes, good morning. My name is Bernadette.
Good morning.
And my question is I was watching, they were talking, they had like a little forum about Social Security, health care, and so on and so forth. And I was listening, but nothing was ever brought up about oversight, the overcharges, and the robbery of Medicare and Social Security. Say, for instance, my mother just passed away, 93 years old. Okay, she was billed incredible amounts of money, and whenever she was given items, Medicare came back and took back any equipment that they had given her to resell. And I just don't understand why people are not having more oversight with the fraud and abuse of Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security.
Thanks, California.
Well, hopefully, you could have more oversight. You always want to get rid of as much waste and fraud as possible. But that's minor compared to the idea that the government can run things, whether it's the medical care system of the entire country or whatever it is. They can't run the school system of the entire country, and they just mess up. So it's a natural consequence of having a government system such as running medicine to have a lot of fraud and waste. I mean, we should do everything possible, but unfortunately, it's a mess. It causes, the system we have today actually supports the corporations more than the patients and the doctors, and it runs up costs, and we spend so much money overseas. We're spending $1 trillion a year running this world empire. At the same time, some of our elderly people aren't even getting medical care. And my argument is we have to readjust and develop our priorities. So I would say that, yes, we need to clean up. We need to get rid of waste and fraud, but we really need to believe in freedom and believe even medical care can be delivered by the market system and that you don't have to have socialized medicine.
Down close to home, Houston, Texas, for Congressman Paul. Good morning.
Yes, I'm calling to find out what Ron Paul thinks about all the attention that's going on and why John McCain is stuffing his lifestyle and choice down our throats. He's done some things in the past, married and had 2 wives at one time, and his wife being on addiction secretly, and then now this. And it's like everything is done. It's okay. Mm-hmm. And I mean by the little girl, 17-year-old being pregnant, that's fine. You just have to deal with it as a parent.
All right, Texas.
Well, You know, I think those things are very important. You might say, why does the media pick certain things and expose it and they ignore others? But as important as they are, and they should, those issues should be used in judging a person's character and whether they qualify for office. But really, what I look at when you elect somebody is what is their opinion about the First Amendment? What is their foreign policy? Do they care about the Federal Reserve System? Do they even understand the Federal Reserve System? Do they believe in socialized medicine? And do they want to get rid of the Department of Education? Or are we as Republicans supposed to continue to expand the size and scope of government and the Department of Education? Those are the issues that make every bit of difference. But